What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about what makes a twin flame slash soulmate or any intense spiritual connection extremely fucking hard and challenging. Is this now? At least for me, everyone's different, but I'm sure other people can relate. So what makes it hard for me, and the reason why it's hard for me to shake off the twin flame, soulmate, intense spiritual connection, like connections and stuff like that, even with some trauma bonds. The reason why it's hard to do that is because all your life, when life or God or the universe, when they put you around non-like-minded people, when they forcefully put you around very abusive, dysfunctional, shallow family members who are against you because they're too fucking stupid and dysfunctional, because you're meant to break generational curses. So of course you're subjected to be around abuse and ghetto and just dumb shit like that within family members. But also growing up, you're also around non-like-minded people who are shallow, because I noticed a pattern between most twin flames and like most soulmates is that like they don't feel connected towards most people in life, and like they tend to be, I guess, kind of like loners, not even loners, but they like to keep it to themselves. At least for me, we tend to like to keep it to ourselves, or like even when we do interact with people, it's like we just don't feel mentally stimulated, or like we got to act a certain way for these people, and it gets discouraging because all of our life we don't know what it's like, and we crave it, but we don't know what it's like to be around like-minded people who genuinely love us, within like families, friends, colleagues, coworkers, and shit like that. We're like people who genuinely love us and understand us. We could offer those towards these people, but these people, they can't offer that shit same to us. Even they do, they can't offer it as much compared to us. So that's one of the reasons why people within twin flame connections and soulmates, they struggle with a lot of codependencies and a lot of addictions, and a lot of like, it's so hard for them to break free from these connections, because especially they attract trauma bonds, because their whole life kind of God and the universe and life kind of fucked their lives up pre-planned in a way where like they're not around like-minded people, anything. They always had to like be in survival mode, or they got to put on certain masks, or like they got to defend themselves, or like they got to be more hyper vigilant and have more empathy, because they're always around abusive, retarded ass, dysfunctional, barbaric, animalistic, dumbass fucking people their whole lives, pretty much. At least that's the case for my life, because all my life I'm always around non-like-minded people. I'm not gonna get into it, but I've been through a lot of situations where like I've been around narcissistic fucking people, and they've done a lot of awful shit. So yeah, of course. So since I'm meant to break generational curses within my family bloodline, yeah, I'm not going to be around fucking like-minded family members. Like, they're going to be against me because they're too fucking stupid to face themselves. So they like to project, and they see me evolving and growing, and they don't like that shit, and they take that shit to heart. And then you got other family members who are on the same bullshit because of generational curses, because it's spiritual. It's spiritual warfare type of shit. So they'll attack you and shit like that. So when you're navigating through life, it's like, damn, I can't even trust my family members. I cut all these motherfuckers off. Like, who the fuck am I supposed to like go to? So you have no choice but to love yourself. And then not only that, but then you have financial disadvantages where like, since you're around dysfunctional families that weren't financially well off like that. So, and if you're in these situations where like you're in the middle of nowhere, it's hard to find opportunity in work situations. So you're forced to get out of that situation by like joining the military. I'm talking about my life. So I was forced to like join the military so I get out of that situation, so I could build a life for myself. And even then, it's like, so if you're around dysfunctional families and generational curses, they're gonna affect your subconscious and unconscious mind. And when that happens, now you're not vibrating low, I guess, but more so like your mindset, your conscious and unconscious mind is not at a wavelength where you can attract good shit into your life, because you have a disconnect within your feminine and or masculine energy. So now you can't attract things you want, because according to this bullshit ass human experience, in order for you to get the things you want out of life, like the one that your heart's desires, you have to be at a certain wavelength where your feminine and your masculine energies are balanced out. That's how people are able to manifest easy and shit like that. But that takes a lot of work, especially if you've been through a lot of trauma against your will, because it's part of your mission to experience fucking trauma, so you can break free from that shit. But it takes a lifelong. Stupid ass shit. So like, in order for you to do that, you got to reprogram your subconscious mind and go different types of therapies and self-love affirmations, do a lot of shit just to fucking balance your fucking energies out, so you can attract the shit you want. So, but keep in mind, you got to deal with that shit along with dealing with other burdens in life, like work, school, finances, and healing, and just shit like that, man. So if you're not doing the healing work, then you're also going to attract non-like-minded people, shallow people, and people who are also narcissistic and dysfunctional. Part of it is circumstances that are out of your control and is not due to your lack of free will, but there are other instances where it's also spiritual warfare, to where like you do have demonic entities who do try to like jump from random bodies to attack you. That shit is a real thing. A lot of people experience that shit. That plays a role. And also there are certain instances where I feel like God or the universe, they do kind of control your life in a way to like they'll forcefully put you around non-like-minded people so you could know more about yourself, all this other unfair dumbass shit, right? So, and then once you meet your divine counterpart, or like a twin flame or soulmate like connection, it's hard to break free from that shit. Not only because God or the universe, they set up in a way where like you're gonna feel this person's energy, you're gonna feel a lot of like sexual energy, like you can't get them off your mind. It's like a soul tie pretty much. A lot of people experience this shit. I've experienced it a couple of times. You can't get this person off. You can't get this person off your mind. You experience a lot of synchronicities and shit like that. Even if you do try to shake that person off your mind, you're still gonna see more synchronicities. Your chakras is gonna be imbalanced, and you're gonna experience all these like you're gonna experience grief, crying, purging all this shit, because you're probably purging out your family's bullshit ass generational trauma. You're purging out your past life trauma. You're purging out your trauma from this lifetime based on what you experienced due to spiritual warfare that's out of your control again. And you could be purging out your divine counterpart's trauma as well. That's what they call spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul, having an ego death, etc. So you're experiencing all this shit while trying to navigate through life. And not only that, but yeah, people are going to be codependent towards their twin flame or soulmate. They are going to be stuck on them because if God or the universe, if they fucking force you your whole life to be around non-like-minded people, yeah, of course, if you experience someone who's actually at your fucking level, who thinks like you, or like who are in the same soul tribe as you, that's very intense, you two have good chemistry, yeah, of course it's gonna be hard to shake that shit off, because you finally meet someone who's at your fucking level. And then once you two separate, or when things don't go well, because you two also have trauma based on the things you've been through, and maybe it was meant to work out, because it's not only, yes, it is a twin flame soulmate connection based on love, but it's also a trauma bond, because when you're experiencing these things, you're purging out a lot of emotions, and doesn't mean you're meant to be together. You're meant to part ways, whether like painfully or peacefully. Either way, you guys kind of not meant. The base purpose of it is to heal your trauma that was forced upon you from birth, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So in life you're running in circles, pretty much. You're not really like, I'm not getting into it, but yeah. So when I'm experiencing these connections, it's hard for me to break free from that shit. I know other people struggle with this as well. Just know that you're not alone. It's not your fault. It's more so because you're subjected out of your control to these situations. I understand God or the universe, they probably do it for the best interest, to help the collective and to help heal your bloodline, all this other stupid ass shit. It's part of this game called life, whatever the fuck, this illusion ass bullshit ass human experience, it's part of it. So don't take it personal, you know what I'm saying? It is how it is. So if you're experiencing a lot of pain, grief, just know it's not your fault. It's just part of the fucking soul contract, or it's part of a life game that you're experiencing. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. So that's how I kind of navigate through it. But this is why it's so hard for me to do it, and other people, that's why they struggle with a lot of codependencies. People who are like the divine feminines, or like they have a lot of feminine energy. You don't have to be a female to be the divine feminine within these twin flame soulmate dynamics. This means you have a lot of feminine energy, and your divine counterpart, they have a lot of masculine energy. And the purpose of it is to balance these two energies out. So you're more feminine, that's your primary energy. So you're meant to balance the feminine and the masculine, and then you be in union with yourself, and then that will manifest into union with the twin flame or soulmate. That's how it is, pretty much. So and if your counterpart is not willing to do the work, then it'll manifest into someone new. This is why twin flame is an energy. It's not a person. It's an energy. It's an energy transfer. This is why people experience this shit multiple times. I've experienced this shit multiple times. It's a fucking energy. So, but yeah. So so that's why it's hard for me and other people to kind of like get out of those connections. A lot of people struggle with this, is because their whole lives they were put into situations that involve narcissistic abuse, pain, and bullshit. that made them feel unloved. Even though they are deserving of love, God put them in a situation where it was against their advantage. So when they meet someone that's like-minded, that loves them like that, but since these two people also have a lot of trauma, because it's part of this human experience to experience a trauma just so you can heal, then experience more trauma and heal, experience more trauma and heal. That's just part of the cycle of this human experience. It is. So, because like, I personally don't know why. I guess to heal the collective or generational trauma. But I also feel like, I could be wrong, I also feel like because God kind of wants us to keep us busy in a way. So this is why we always got to do a lot of shit that's fucking painful. But I also believe Earth is like a school for your soul and spirit to evolve. And you can't evolve without apparently experiencing suffering, right? So it makes sense. So it's not really, like, this human experience really ain't shit pretty much. But where was I getting at? So this is why a lot of people struggle with this shit. It's hard to break free because not only you're seeing a lot of synchronicities that remind you of that person, but you're also gonna like feel this person's energy. You can't get this person off your mind. And you're also grieving all your wounds and trauma in this lifetime and past lives, your family generational trauma. Like so intense at the same time. It's life. It's like it takes a long time. You experience a lot of chakra overstimulations and shit like that. And it's hard to get your person off that mind. It's also a mix of a trauma bond. So this person is a mirror of you. Things you don't like by yourself, the things you hold in, that person is gonna mirror and be a reflection of the things you don't like about yourself. So this person can act on things in ways where you don't like because that's a reflection of yourself. But again, it's not your fault. It's just your upbringing. It's not your fault. It's just you experience bullshit out of your control. God, the universe, or the devil. Now, I want to say the devil because the devil attacks you. But God, the universe, they orchestrate pre-planned situations. The devil just kind of jumps in and attacks you like that. The devil kind of adds on to this shit. But God, the universe, they'll purposely make you experience certain things, not to be against you. I hope not. It seems like it, but more so you can evolve. This is part of his fucking plan, or this part of this game called life. So the devil just adds on and shit, but like he just, but supposedly people say the higher perspective is for you to heal your family generational trauma, heal your trauma, and maybe the collectives, who knows. That way you could be like kind of guide people and shit like that. Yeah, so this is why it's so hard for people it's hard for them to detach because of their upbringing, which is not their fault, and all the symptoms they feel. And this shit gets annoying. I've experienced it multiple times. This shit gets fucking annoying. So it's kind of like God would kind of forcefully put you through a lot of trauma and abuse just so you can heal bloodlines and generational trauma. And then God would kind of let it happen damn near half of your life. And now God expects you to heal all that shit by you experiencing painful romantic relationships and friendships. So now where you experience more pain and you have no choice. So now you hit rock bottom. So now you have no choice but to pick yourself back up, heal yourself, and then attract and get the things you want and help other people for a higher spiritual mission or purpose, pretty much. That's what it is, pretty much. But that's all I gotta say, and have a good one. Don't give up, man. You got this. You're not alone. Peace.